I got into addiction very early, at like 11 years old, and I continued to use throughout school. I wound up getting clean when I was 17 for the first time, and I wound up staying clean actually for 2.5 years. I worked a 12-step program. I went back to high school. I graduated. I got a job, and then I got another job. You know, at this point, I was only 19, and I had this really good job that I had gotten, but I was living with my boyfriend, and he had started to drink, so I was like, I'm gonna move out of there, and I moved out with a friend, and slowly things like work and my friends, you know, just became more important than going to a meeting. And just on like I said, 3 months I lived with him, and on one odd day, I don't know, there was nothing different, no reason, you know, he was like, you should try this, you know, drink, and I just did it, and that was that was my relapse, and I didn't come out of that relapse until August 21st of last year when I went into treatment. And some girls told me oh, the rescue mission in Binghamton is amazing, the women's house. I'm like, the rescue mission? They're like, no, really, the women's house is incredible. I think you'll really like it there. Binghamton has a lot of recovery. So I said, sure, why not? And I came here, and it's been really good for me. You know, this program is amazing, and Binghamton does have a lot of recovery, and I work a program today, and I have a lot of people in my life who love me unconditionally. My turning point, like I said, it was over a year ago. I was using and I couldn't stop. And when it comes to my son, it was I hadn't seen my son maybe 3 times in the last year or 2 because of COVID and you know, my active addiction and everything. So not only was I using and I couldn't stop, but I had the opportunity to see my son, and I got high the day before, and I woke up in the hospital 2 days later, and I didn't get to see him for a very long time after that. And within a week, everything else in my life had fallen apart. I saw that crystal meth was killing me, literally, and that I couldn't stop. Because usually when I had gotten too deep, I would think of my son and I would be like, all right, I gotta do something, and I would go to treatment. But this time, I rode it till the wheels fell off. I didn't want to stop. I didn't, you know, I was this close to making that decision between my son and that substance, and just turning my back on him because I knew that I couldn't come in and out of his life anymore. And I asked God to just give me enough willingness that I didn't have to do that I could stop. And somehow I wound up going into treatment, and I wound up asking them to take me off methadone maintenance. And, you know, here we are now. So it's the Hope Award, so it means hope. It means that when people look at me, they think about hope. And that's really special, because just a little over a year ago, I didn't have a lot of that. I would say thank you for this opportunity, because nobody ever would have thought that I would be where I am today. And it's because of people like you in this program, you know, and these resources that I'm able to have that opportunity.